Hello, buddy. This is RJ here, and I know the last part was a bit of I wasn't as excited, but this part I am. The only reason I wasn't too excited in the last part of um that comic show because that's what this is, but I didn't introduce what this is. But yeah, sorry, I'm gonna redo the intro there. I'm sorry. Hello, buddy. This is RJ here, and I'm your host. Well, oh, god damn it! No. Let me try again. I can do this. Oh, hello, buddy, and welcome to That Comic Show. I'm your host, RJ Epic, and like I said, like I said already, this is That Comic Show. This is the final part of the first episode of this weekly show that will only be coming out on Wednesdays, besides a bonus episode that might happen in the middle of the week. Being That Comic Show, this is the final part for today, final part for this week, part 3 of 3, the final part. And like I said in the last part, we're going to be doing a top 10 list to finish strongly this week. And we're going to be doing top 10 series I have ever read so far. So these are I have my top 10 favorite series here. I am excited. So I can't wait to get started. The reason I was so kind of down in the last part to put it in those terms is because I had already recorded that part last week. And it just kind of upset me that I had to do it again because the first take was way better. That's always how it is for me. The first take is way better because then I get pissed off and upset that I have to do it again because I hate to have to do things again when I can just do it in one go. That's also why I actually had to attempt my intro 3 or 4 times there, and why I didn't just start over, because I hate having to start over something. So I'll make myself look kind of stupid. Just so I can do this in one take / one go. But anyway, we're gonna get started. There are, by the way, for this top 10 list, there are no honorable mentions. There are no honorable mentions. Sometimes there might be honorable mentions for my top 10 list that I'm gonna be doing on this comic show, which is actually called That Comic Show. But yeah, we're gonna get started with my number 10 of the out of top 10 series I've ever read so far. This is likely, and this will change in the future, so I might do an updated list at some point, like maybe in a year's time or something. But anyway, my number 10 is We Stand on Guard. I just picked my favorite cover out of the bunch, my favorite cover or an important cover out of each series. So yeah, I have number 3 here, but We Stand on Guard, it was a great series. I loved it. America versus Canada, which I mean could happen at some point if but now Trump's president, but we're not going to talk about that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I'm just kidding. But yeah, the election though, the Americans. I live in Canada, so I'm not gonna talk about that. Whatever. We Stand on Guard. It was a great series. America's trying to take over Canadian land and stuff. It's more than that, but it has a really cool set of characters. The characters in this are great. It's actually a really dark title, as this cover hopefully suggests. It's a really, really dark title. It's a dark title. I mean, there is some humor in it, but it's really dark. I'm not joking when I say it. It's a dark book. Yeah, I can't even say one of the events that happens in this book because I just can't say it. I would feel so bad if I said it out loud. It's so no. How can no? And it has a good ending, but it has a dark ending, sort of. It doesn't have a happy ending. I guess it does have a happy ending in sorts, but not for everyone. Let's just say that. But like I said, characters are great. Main character, great. I don't know. It has a lot of history in it and a lot of cool facts about both US and Canada, mostly Canada. And I just can't say anything else. It's just a great series and I loved it. I just actually finished reading this series 3 weeks ago, so really cool. Maybe even, I don't know, maybe 2.5, I don't know, weeks ago. But definitely less than a month ago. But anyway, my number 9, him. Anyway, like I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by a fucking ad that came up on my phone, my number 9 out of my top 10 favorite series I've ever read so far is Black Widow, the series that is currently running from All New, All Different Marvel, which is now Marvel Now 2.0. But yes, Black Widow, and I chose issue number 6 because I like this cover. But this has been a great series so far. It is still ongoing. A quick tangent, side tangent. I'm actually uploading the first part of this episode of that comic show right now, which I recorded last week. So these two episodes, parts 2 and 3, these two parts, the first part was recorded a week ago, and these past two parts have been recorded literally today, the 9th of November. So just so you guys know that. But anyway, back to Black Widow. This has been a great series. This shows how and why Natasha is such a great character, and personally, she's one of my favorite characters, like comic book characters, or at least Marvel characters, or superheroes in general. She's great. Black Widow's great. This team is great on this book. Wade, Samney, Wilson, and all the other people, all the other creators, give them credit. They're great. I can't explain. I just love this series. This issue had a few guest stars, this issue had a couple guests, or had Iron Man guest star. And it's gonna have Winter Soldier showing up in like the next arc or something, so that's cool. But no, it shows a lot about the past, and it's really good. And the film is better than you think the film would be. But whatever. That's all I'm going to say about it. And I'm going to move on to my number 8, which is Danger Girl Renegade. I am showing issue number 1 because I like the cover. But this was a 4-issue miniseries. Really good. I think I don't know if I mentioned that We Stand on Guard before. It was a 6-part miniseries, 6-issue miniseries. Oh my god, I keep getting interrupted, and this is why I didn't want to use my phone, because fucking ads pop up and interrupt the videos when I'm making them. I just realized there's a tear in this bag. Oh my god. Everything's going downhill like last week. This is great. This is why I wasn't sure about this project. But like I was saying, Danger Girl Renegade, I like this cover. This is a 4-issue miniseries, is what I was saying before I got cut off. This was really good. This is what got me into Danger Girl. And like, I don't read many indie titles, so when I do and they're really good, like, I love them. Because now the Danger Girl Renegade led me to buying what I showed off earlier, Danger Girl Revolver, which have both been great series. But since Danger Girl Renegade was my first Danger Girl series, I had to give it to Renegade over Revolver. I'm not sure which one I really enjoyed Renegade when I was reading it the first time around, when I was reading it as it was coming out, so I couldn't compare it to that. So yeah, really good, really awesome series. It's my number 8, which leads us to my number 7, which is International Iron Man. I have the first issue here, like with Danger Girl Renegade. This was a fantastic series. This series is over now. It ended at issue number 7, which I just got in my last or second last comic call. No, I think it was my last one I got it in. Really awesome, really exciting. This was an awesome series. We got to find out who Tony's real parents, or Tony's biological parents, were. So that was nice. We got to see an awesome villain in Cassandra Gillespie, or whatever her name is, who's really cool and had a deep history with Tony, and actually relationship with Tony. And the characters were just all around treated well. There was a drop-off point, which with issue number 5, which was which was the worst issue of the series in my opinion, was issue 5. It was just meh, even though that was the issue where we kind of like find out who Tony's mom is, and we kind of find out quite a bit. But it was just, I don't know, it just kind of was born at some point in the middle. Maybe because, like, I think at the beginning of that issue, Cassandra Gillespie and Tony were like talking, having a conversation, and their interactions was my favorite part of the series. And then it goes to like a kind of like boring part where he's trying to get the information about his parents, like in a pretty normal, like not like hero or fantastic way. And that's just, the ending was good, but it's just, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what else I can really say. We had 2 issues that mainly focused around his parents, actually, not even himself. but they were like um the story of at the end of the series. It showed Howard and Maria Stark getting a baby and everything. I don't know. Okay, this was just really good. I can't put it into words right now. But if you have not been reading or haven't picked up International Iron Man, this was for the longest time the better Iron Man series from all different Marvel. But now looking back, I probably do, as you'll actually see later, enjoy Invincible Iron Man from all different Marvel better, and I'll explain that later. Even though this had the more consistent, great quality issues, I just the stories that were really good with Invincible Iron Man were like top 10 worthy level. So yeah, throw that back there, and we're moving on to my number six. Yeah, six. Yeah, number six. Which is Deadpool. The current run of Deadpool. Had to throw this in here. Deadpool is in my top 10 favorite Marvel characters. He is great. I don't know if he's in top 5, but he's definitely top 10. Deadpool is fantastic. He is hilarious. He's great. Now, the first like arc of Deadpool wasn't all that great, but it's gotten better. Actually, the last issue I read of Deadpool, not the issue 18, the last like issue, because I got 18 and annual. Those are the last two I've read. I got them at the same time. The annual was actually good. One of the better annuals I've read. Probably. But Deadpool 18, I feel like the series only gets better as it goes along. Like, that's how it's been, at least for me. It's only gotten better as it's gone along, maybe because I get more familiar with the character, or just characters in general. But, I don't know. Deadpool's great. Deadpool's love, Deadpool's life. Get out of here. And moving on, like I said, I would be talking about this after. I spoiled you guys. I told you guys. But my number 5 is Invincible Iron Man. And I have the final issue here because sadly this series is over. And Tony Stark will be dropping the mantle of Iron Man. Because he's probably dead and or paralyzed. Or something really bad to where he can't be Iron Man right now. It's... God. Invincible Iron Man, this latest run, has been one of the greatest series, obviously, because it's number 5 on my list that I've ever read. It has been fantastic. I have loved this series. The first arc, I thought it wasn't going to get any better than the first arc, but this last arc, this last Civil War 2 tie-in, and even from issue 11, 12, 13, and 14 were some of the best issues I've read of a comic series so far. 11 was the road to Civil War 2, and then the Civil War 2 tie-ins themselves were 12 to 14. But those last 4 issues of Iron Man, along with the first arc alone, are what made the series. There was the middle and between. At some points wasn't the best. I mean, the best parts in the between we got some MJ, and just character interactions were great. But like this series kind of considering where it was in the first place, it sucked for a while. And then just the Civil War 2 stuff, and at the end, the last 4 issues, it redeemed itself, and it has become one of my favorite series of all time. If I went back and read this whole series, I feel like I would appreciate this more. And the worst issue, in my opinion, was issue 6, because that's when the team switched, because I really liked the first team, and the story was incredible, and the first arc was great, and then it kind of dropped down, and then the next arc, and then the arc sucked compared to the first team. But that by the end, you get used to it, and actually the art at the end here actually fits the character quite well, I think. Especially the dark tone really fit by the end of the series, and especially in this. This issue is probably one of my favorite issues of all time. This issue was so emotional. I can't talk anymore about Iron Man because I actually might get emotional. That's how great this friggin' series was, / this story arc at the end. This issue itself is it almost got me tearing up because of the great storytelling that was provided by Mr. Brian Michael Bendis and the wonderful art by Mike Deodato. I think that's who it is. I'm sorry. I didn't like your art at first, but I like it now, Deodato. So, I'm sorry. But yeah, I gotta move on now though to my number 4, and I've got a few spotlights here, which is the Amazing Spider-Man. I kind of cheated here. I didn't know which volume of Amazing Spider-Man to pick, so I kind of just went with all the Dan Slott stuff. So basically, since I'm just gonna say anything Spider-Man, anything Amazing, all the Amazing Spider-Man stuff that Dan Slott has written, because I got Spider Island here, which is actually quite old now. I got Volume 3 of Amazing Spider-Man, and then I got Volume 4 of Amazing Spider-Man. So yeah, really cool. I love Spider-Man. My favorite character. I'm not going to tell you which Spider-Man or if there's a difference, but Spider-Man in general is my favorite character. That's a spoiler for a future list. I love Amazing Spider-Man. I'm kind of surprised this isn't higher. These books aren't higher, but you'll see why, I guess. I'll explain why they aren't higher. Maybe, I don't know. But I love all the Dan Slott Spider-Man stuff, and yeah, Dan Slott's probably one of my favorite writers because of his Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. But yeah, photos back there, and on to my number 3, which is none other than my favorite independent series and the best maybe independent series of all time. Except it's been, I don't know. There's been some points where it's been kind of shit. I will say that, like. There was a time since like 145, I want to say, through 150 really sucked. Like those 6 issues or so, really sucked. But I have 149 to show off just because I had to have a cover with Negan in it, and this cover is really good. Because Negan is one of the best characters in the series, if not the best. Negan is great. I'm going to make a video about this another time. I don't think it will be a bonus video. It'll probably just be on another episode of That Comic Show. I'm going to talk about the differences, and I'm going to compare the Walking Dead TV show to the comic and why I actually like the comic better, because I do. The comic is great. I give a lot of credit to why I'm into comics too, The Walking Dead, so thank you. But also a lot of the credit, actually probably more of the credit goes to Archie Comics, really. But no, I would say half the credit goes to Walking Dead, though, for why I'm in the comic books. And I talked about that in the first part of this episode of That Comic Show. I don't know what I can say about The Walking Dead. If you don't read The Walking Dead, you haven't watched the show. You do watch the show, but don't read the comic. The comic, in my opinion, is better. It's great. It's darker because it can do more than the show can. There's more swearing, which is a pivotal part of a few characters. And yeah, it's just, I love it. And I'm just gonna throw that back there and talk about my number 2, which is Ultimate Spider-Man. I have 3 volumes of that here too. I have the original volume, volume 2, and Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man. So yeah, all great. Ultimate Spider-Man actually for the longest time was my favorite series. Just so you know, Brian Michael Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis has legitimately had 4 or 5 series on this list because he is my favorite writer of all time for comics that I have had the pleasure of reading. Beautiful art on these covers, by the way. All 3 are great. I don't know what else to say, but yeah. I'm gonna move on to my number 1, which is Spider-Man number 1, all new, all different Marvel Miles Morales series. Really great. Miles Morales is great. This story gets into some deep social conversations, social topics. It talks about racism or racists in general. Talks about just diversity in general. Is what I should have said. Just some deep topics. Talks about like. I can't explain right now. I might talk about this. It just has deep topics. Like I already said, diversity. Maybe family issues. I don't know. I had this all planned out what I was going to say, but now I completely forget. But this is, of course, my favorite series of all time. This has just been great. There's not been a bad issue of this series, or like one that isn't as good as the others, because they're all great. They're all fantastic. And this has been number 1 every time except once on an episode of the Comic Countdown or Ranked, because it used to be called the Comic Countdown Ranked it's always been my number 1 book of the haul because it is that damn good. So yes, anyway guys, this has been That Comic Show for this week. This has been the final part of That Comic Show for this week, is what I should have said. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed this episode, or if you enjoyed this part or this episode in general of That Comic Show, please either like, subscribe, comment, and even share if you would like to. So anyway guys, I'll see you all in the next video. And anyways, peace.